All right, too, to be here again. Isn't that right? Yes, sir. Didn't have to do it, but done it again. Yes, sir. And we back. Isn't that right? That's it. Trying to make sure we get this information. It's prevalent for salvation. Isn't that right? A lot of people getting some, but is it prevalent for salvation? That's the key with anything you're doing. Isn't that right? Well, definitely, too, to be here. I saw the news. They keep trying to show you about Kyle Rittenhouse. I'm not interested. That's a waste of time to even look at it. Yes, I already set up to do an interview Monday night on Fox. You know, that's where we at. This is where we're at. Again, we don't have a solution, so might as well leave it alone. Leave it alone. That's like sometimes you had women years ago complaining about their old man, complaining about it. So won't you leaving? Yes, so won't you leaving? Yes. Well, let's quit talking about you ain't gonna go nowhere. I used to talk about you ain't gonna go nowhere and do nothing. That's the end of the day. Ain't that right? Otherwise, we gonna be just like the other people I criticize, the civil rights so-called leader. We ain't gonna do nothing about it, leave it alone. Ain't that right? And we start talking about it again, let's be ready to make some changes. And we can do it. We can do it. Y'all looking in Australia, was it in Australia and other parts of the world, people, Italy, they on the street. Yeah. Listen, I'm talking about they on the streets. They refusing their vaccination. Everybody ain't going along with that stuff. These white folks too now. I'm talking about, man, they got droves of them. They out there, they're like, man, we're not getting no vaccination. Right. They're getting no job. They're like, y'all can end that. We ain't getting it for no job. We going to work, we ain't getting that job. Eventually, that's what they're going to push over here. I've been told y'all before, I've told y'all over the course of time, we have to make our own way. I've been telling y'all will see, they're going to force your hand. When they force your hand, y'all now, don't come begging for nothing now. Cause I told you before, they're going to force your hands. That's the goal of America. They're trying to get, these old white guys are trying to get America back to what the intent was, to get the people to be enslaved to them. They'll try to teach America, and this is how they sell you on, America's about liberty. America's never been about liberty. The liberties was allocated for the whites, for the people that came on to set up and for their kids. You tell me what's the chances that a man who be the first president of the United States, that he'll have other relatives that'll hold the same position down the road? Both Bush is related to him. Yep. Then you got other people, I think they even connect back over to Lincoln some kind of way. They connect. What's the chances of that? What's the chance that Nancy Pelosi will hold the third highest seat in the United States and her father held the same seat? You don't just look into this kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying? They set it up for their kid, the Kennedys. Their father was never in politics, and he held every one of their seats. Every one of the Kennedys that got those seats were held by their father. So you see, you can't win when the card's already stacked against you. The only thing you do is quit playing. It's time for the so-called Negro to do just like that boxer they seen last night. Bell rings, get out, we ain't fighting, we gone. That's right. We ain't running from that, it don't make sense. That's right, and see what most of these people don't know possibly too, they probably already stacked. People don't know a lot of them fights already stacked. How many of y'all remember that fight of Mercer? Ray Mercer, you remember him? You remember he got busted, he was in the ring, he told the dude to go down. Oh, they busted him in a fight. He kept going. He said, man, go down, go down. He said, I'm going to pay you. Yeah, dude, talk. He said he kept telling me to go down. Oh, yeah. He was that fight. He said, go down. Because he was trying to get himself up. He was trying to get a shot. Go down. I'm going to pay you. I'm going to take care of you. Whole lot of that stuff. So the mob set up a lot of fights. They had one, I can't remember what fight was that. Probably back in like the 1950s or so, 40s. They had a fight set up rigged, and they was in the fight. They told the dude when he get in to go down. He wouldn't go down. You know what they did? They had a guy right there. He put out that switchblade. He was finna go in the ring and kill him. That joker hit the ring. He hit the ground. Boom. Yeah, they told him to go down. He wouldn't do it. They had a boy sit right. He flicked the knife out. He was going up there and kill that joker on TV. You know what he did? He do like everybody else do. You're a real man. Hit that ground. Right. Nigga finna cut your throat on national TV. What you finna do? Go down. Fist don't work with no knife. They got a switchblade. You swing, joker, cut your wrist off. So they just show the whole thing of everything stacked. The football, basketball game, football, a lot of these games stacked. You know how they heard of, a lot of us will do averages. We'll do a whole lot of other things. We'll look at, like some teams play better in cold. You know what I'm saying? So all these are things you look at when you're playing in high altitude. Even with basketball, it's hard. You take a team from down here like Miami Heat and take them to Utah, elevation high. So it's gonna kind of mess with your breathing. Most of y'all don't know stuff like that, do you? So these are things that people try to use in their favor to try to win. You use it because you look at high elevation makes a difference. Cold makes it that. You play Tom Brady in the cold, you're going to lose that. Snow on the ground, you're going to lose it. He's going to put up 34 on you easy. He used to playing in heavy snow. You're going to lose that in the heavy snow. You're going to play Green Bay in heavy snow. You're going to lose that one because they're cold nature and they study and they play a lot in the cold. So people try to use those average the whole time you're like, it's stacked against you. Right. That don't work. Them guys say here, they're going to get money. The money in, just like with Tyson, more money was paid on betting on, what's that boy, Douglas. That you can't get paid off Mike. Mike can't make you money. You'll lose money with Mike. Oh, you're going to make money with Mike, you got to bet on rounds. If you're going to bet on Mike, you already know Mike going to win. So how much money, how much I'm going to give you on that? See, all the money was on Douglas. That's where the mob made their real money. See, if you get in the way too long, they need to move you. How they get you? You ain't got to go to Mike and tell him to take a fall. You just put a dirty hole in there with him. That's right. Get a hole, make sure, hey, listen, the night before he did it, know that him and Bob Brown had been snorting dope on the street walking. How many of y'all didn't know that? That night before the fight, you know he was on the street walking. They had been snorting dope. He ain't been asleep. Now you ask yourself, how we found out this later? You get ready to fight a championship fight, and you sitting out here, you been snorting dope, and you on the street walking that night. Bible could have been the plan. They fought on no tether. Can you imagine you finna fight a championship fight tomorrow, and you on the street walking, you been snorting dope, you high. But want to know why they go down? Now you got to ask yourself how you know Bobby wasn't paid to do it to him. See, I say that to say this with our people. Everybody around you ain't really for your benefit. We bad about thinking people around our people. You know how many times they use people? Just like y'all see now what come on with the Malcolm X, how they held these men for 50-something years. Y'all know why they getting exonerated now? Because the people who going to be in criminal, they dead. Yeah. See, no prosecution. Listen, what was it, 2000? I think the year 2000, they were supposed to release all the documents about the JFK. You supposed to got everything. You know people were still living. That's why they didn't do it. George Bush was still living. Yeah. How many of y'all didn't know they were supposed to release it? They locked all that stuff up. All of the evidence, all of the paperwork was supposed to be released in the year 2000. Mind you, this in the 60s, in the 70s. So they figured by then, everybody be dead. Well, these decrepit bastards was still living. They bad up. Trump tried to release some of it for y'all in 16. Most of y'all didn't remember they do it. Trump told them to do it. They stopped it. He said, oh yeah, Trump told he said I'm going to release those files. They were like, no. They were like, no. They're like, you do partial. You can just do part of them files. And people still living. That played a part with a whole lot of that. Nelson Mandela, he only sat in jail because of Dick Cheney. Yeah, they would have been let him out. How many of y'all didn't know that? Every time they had come up to talk, Dick Cheney would have made sure he stayed in prison. That's how dirty these people is. Let me tell y'all what happened. If people pay attention, they could probably put it up, Bosh and show it to them. Y'all will look, you'll see Nelson Mandela pull him up, call George Bush a racist. I never knew when he came out of jail why he told him. He said George Bush is a racist. Everybody said, where are they gonna come out and holler at George? Dick Cheney was the reason why he stayed in jail all that time. See, y'all don't even realize, listen, you talking about somebody in South Africa, you talking about somebody over in America. Why would you have any part and keep that man incarcerated? Because he went to the world nation, made sure they looked at it. They had to keep him. When they let him out, you know they made sure of. That joke was as passive as you can get. That joke was a Martin Luther King. See, people don't realize that man fought against the apartheid government. Shoot, man, listen, Mandela was explosive. Most of y'all didn't know that. How many of y'all didn't know that? Shoot, man, Mandela, yes, sir, he played with explosive. He blowed them up. That's why they locked him up. They realized you don't want him on the street. When they let him out, they made sure a couple of things. You ain't never a threat. Listen, that man sat in jail, that man lived a good life. People don't know, they negotiated before they let him out. He knew what he had to do before he got out. Everybody knew the whole deal. When he got out, they let him know too. It part of that knew you had to leave winning. Had to let winning go. Winning was oppressing the people too, beating them. I don't know why they make her some great mother of South Africa. These people here, a lot of these folks, they only tell us what they need us to know. We on a need to know basis. That's why when he got to think about it, you want the president of the United States and you decide to split part of the rule with the same dirty crackers that you fought against and blowed up. What does that tell you about Nelson Mandela? The part of their program. He part of the whole fight and them electing him was to demolish and get rid of the apartheid government. What's the name? Duke, the former president, he just died. What's the name, say that? I think it ain't Decrete or something like that. Duterte, something like that, yeah. Former white, he was the president before Mandela, and he shared party rule with him. Yeah. See, white people always why y'all think they can't get him out of there? Now I tell you a boy who in trouble, now that boy who got the EFF now, with the red beret. Oh yeah, they want him gone. He told all of them. He said, take their land, get these white folks. Oh, they pissed. Man, listen, y'all see them rednecks from Israel? Went right. They said the military there to train the white people over there. Y'all ain't never seen that? They came to South Africa to train these white people how to fight. He told me, he said, no. He said, I ain't doing that. He said, y'all getting that land up. It's not your land. Y'all took this. And they told me, we suck this. He said, no. That land belongs to these people. He said, y'all getting that land back up. That's what they do. All these white folks, they'll start putting embargoes against you. And listen, it's just a matter of time before they plant something on it. Same thing they do with the Duterte over in Philippines. He ain't running no more. He told me killing them drug dealers. He said, I ain't keeping these people. He said, these people sell drugs. He said, I'm killing them. He said, I'm not going to house them. You know why they fighting? They want him out of there, and they done push his hand out? Because they need them drug dealers. See, the same thing in America that they need to do. We wind up being the people that push these drugs out for them, and we wind up doing the most time. Don't sell nothing for them. Let them have it. It's stupid. They need you, then they go put you away for life. They take you away from your kids. They take you away from your family. They take you away from your living. Most of us wind up dying. We sit in prison while our mothers, our fathers die, our kids die, and we've been playing with these people too long. It's time to leave.
That's right.
Why are we talking about what's going on out here? Nobody looking at how people being treated in prison. We don't have no real advocate fighting for them. Kim Kardashian, I give her this much. I appreciate what she did do to help some of them what she did. But I'll be honest with you, this is a fight we need to do for ourselves. I ain't gonna let you put up more than I am. I just don't want, they need to know I'm gonna fight for me. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate your help now, but make no mistake, I'm gonna fight for me. We got our boys, our girls, our men and our women. We got most of our good, brilliant minds in them folk prisons. And we need to get them. We do, people don't, man, a lot of our knowledge is sitting in them prisons. A lot of truth we got, these white folk have locked up. While we out here fighting with this piss and stuff out here, these people constantly, every time they get somebody that can come up, they can make a difference, they're going to lock you up and get you out the street. Those two guys that they incarcerated for Malcolm X's murder, y'all know one reason why they got them. They was effective. Y'all know them guys were working with programs and they were defiant, they were helping their people. That's why the feds picked them. You know how dangerous that is? How many of y'all seen the Malcolm X movie? Or seen about? They clearly show you two guys get up, shoot Malcolm. Do they not? They show you the crowd running, grab them two guys, drag them out the door, throw them down the stairs, beat them, and give them to the police. How were these the wrong people? I'm just saying, according to what we saw, how did you make that mistake? From the movie, you showed them clearly showing these are the guys shooting him. Y'all, they running, y'all grab them, beat them up, drag them down the stairs, and hand them over to the police. The police sitting downstairs waiting on them. Y'all know they said they had 9 FBI informants in there. 9 FBI agents, one of his security was New York police, 2 of them were New York police officers sitting there, and these people got this wrong. Well, that makes sense. That's what you want to do. The main thing, you got rid of Malcolm. Let me tell you something, man. A lot of stuff, and you know. I kind of reserve comment on fighting our people for a minute. I want to reserve that. Because a lot of times, I ain't saying that all our people are innocent, but they've been effective in dividing us on us fighting each other. Yeah. We reserved a lot of interest, a lot of ends on fighting and killing one another, and they've been based off of what they've shown us. Because all you got to do is let somebody have more than another one, somebody have less, that's a fight. Exactly. All you got to do is give more accolade to somebody, that's a fight. All you got to do is put some of us and say, you know what I'm going to do? All of y'all go to an all-black school. I'm going to take her and I'm going to put her in a minority to from a majority to a minority school where she's going to be educated better. Now, when she come back to the neighborhood, one of y'all niggas going to have a problem, if not all y'all. Her language, her speech going to change. The people she going to deal with, she going to have new friends. Hey, come on, we do. See, I got to go. I'm supposed to be going with service. They come. So you something they going to do that. It's a divide. That MDM whole thing, it was a divide. Because the people you're taking, you never moved them out. You just transferred them to the school. And you know when they came back, it was going to be a division in the neighborhood. And guess what they were going to do when she started to grow, become more educated, a student, change her friend? She's moving out that neighborhood. Yep. So get what happened? That neighborhood going to become more impoverished. It's going to drop down. You know what I'm saying? You're going to say, that's why I got the neighborhood. We've abandoned our own neighborhoods.
That's right.
Versus she could really be more effective with the information, the connection she made to come back and reestablish her neighborhood. Become a proponent for getting her people to get that same education, not to go there, but transfer it right here in the neighborhood so everybody got a chance. Including, nobody ain't never taught us like this. Nobody never told. You know, we keep it. Now, what? You know what? A lot of y'all thinking. How many of y'all thinking she could probably help to get more of us to go to that school? Nobody came across their mind. That never came up. Okay, they won't tell me that, and I know they did. See, we got to learn how to transplant. Take it, put it back here, and build our communities back up. Build our people back. If you want to get rid of poverty, get rid of the poor health care, get rid of lack of opportunity, you got to educate our people. You got to give them opportunity. You got to give them a chance. You can't get rid of it just talking. You can be whatever you want to be. How you going to do that? In your mind? How many of y'all used to play superhero? You was a superhero. When was you that superhero? Okay, so let's stop all that thinking stuff and let's start putting the information out. Spider-Man got bit. Superman came from Krypton. Nigga, you right here in that neighborhood, you ain't gonna be nothing. We gotta put something, we gotta create something for you. That just meant we gotta create something for you. Batman had devices. He just jumped up. When that man went, got him a cave, imported computers and all kinds, went and got him a car. You know, I just feel like I'm Batman. No, nigga, that don't work. You know, but I'm just saying, you see all these people got the necessary tools to be able to do what they needed to do to accomplish the goal. The problem we got goals, but you ain't got the necessary tools. You don't have the information. And we keep thinking we need to move and make better. Listen what happened. Just like my mother's neighborhood. They bought a house in 1978 for, I think, $23,000, $26,000. Now, houses on her street have gone for 300 plus, 400 something plus. They took those houses and they converted them. They renovated them. Y'all got what I'm saying? They changed the looks of them and the numbers went up. Those white people came there to transplant that neighborhood. Now, another thing they're gonna do when they get here, they're gonna change the dynamics of the schools and the education. They're not gonna spend $300,000 and $400,000 coming to that black neighborhood and keep them school. They're not sending their kids down. They can say, well, they're gonna ship them out, then they're gonna come to the north saying, listen, it's enough of us here to change the dynamics of how that school operates. That's right. From the lunch to the educators that we put in here to the program. Want to come in? Most of all, how many know how to go and say, let me see the syllabus? I need to look at the curriculum they're being taught. How many of you used to go to PTA meeting, parents? How many times you went and asked for the curriculum? You went and asked for it. How many other parents were right there with you? So, and that's not to run them down. We didn't know. My mama went to PTA. You knew about going and asking them to give you the curriculum, let you look at the whole curriculum of what they're teaching. You went there talking about what's the goals or what's the target point of what they're trying to do with the school. You just show up and you sat there and them people talking. You said, I came. Nobody never taught us how involved we could be. PTA, that's parent and teacher. So that's parent and teacher because both of us are handling the child. I got him at home. I'm looking for you to do your job here. So you get me and say, listen, your daughter's son is not completing the information. They're not getting the work done or whatever's not doing or they're behind. So they give you a chance to do what do I need to do at home? Yeah. Then you check the teacher to see what's going on here. Because I'm not getting progress report. I ain't seeing homework come home. Oh, I got to tighten up. So you put the pressure on them. Nobody taught us that. We just said, oh, jive, funky school. Oh, stupid old school. I'm going to move my kid. You can't keep moving. Fix your problem. That's right. Because everywhere we go, it's going to be a problem. But nobody talked to us. It ain't we dumb. Nobody explained to us what we were actually getting into. That you control. You see white people. I said that white lady ran to school, had them scissors. Ran to that. See, white folks serious about their school. She came through the metal detector with some scissors. Yeah, she was pissed. She wanted something done up there. I'm just saying, white people are serious about it. They look at, man, listen, this is what we don't look at too. They'll look at teachers. What's important and what we have to look at, they're not going to let teachers come into Cobb County that's going to have a democratic perspective. You're not going to come in and teach their white kids about slavery wrong. Your granddad and your grandma were wrong. But you ain't teaching my kid that. They want their kids to be high lifted up. They're going to make sure you're not going to come in and teach no program. Says, listen, when you guys are able to vote, you got to vote for Democrat. They come to see you. You finna get out of here. You're not teaching our kids that. That's not the demographics here. We control the school. Just like colleges. A lot of y'all went to colleges. You didn't even know what a political affiliation was. Most of y'all don't know. You just went. There's certain school, there's nowhere to wear that kid. They'll tell the kid, you're not going now. Because they already know what the protocol, they know what the premises is. They know most of these, let me tell you, how many of y'all went to these black universities? Good, you Democrat. I know you're a Democrat. You're a Democrat. They're not trying to teach you toward no Republican type. No, they're not teach you that. They're not gonna do it. They know they're gonna teach you. They'll make it. Am I telling you folks wrong? No. Your school plays a part. Don't y'all know these elementary school, middle school, high school play a part? They have affiliation. Who taught us this? Nobody taught us this stuff. We just left blind. We think you go to school, sound, do your work, and shut your mouth. White people don't play that stuff with their kids. Their kids gonna get involved, interactive. They want opportunity. They're gonna tell them, they're gonna make sure what you teach them. They're gonna make sure certain things are getting done. They want certain things brought in. Certain speak. We had stuff years ago. Did y'all? I don't know. They had career day. They still do that. I don't know. Do they still do that? For example, who goes to school? Okay, call somebody. Give me one lifeline. Call up somebody and go to school. But when y'all went to school, do y'all remember they still have career day? Okay, I just make it sure. Y'all remember career day? They still have it now? It's what now? Oh, you do it online. Somebody just come on, hey, this is my career, talking to people at home on the computer now. But see, for us, it was important at one time. Back when we did it, it would usually be a parent, it would be a kid's parent would come in, who owned a corporation, worked for a corporation, would come in and talk. But we didn't understand the importance of us understanding it was giving you an opportunity to kind of think about and consider some things while you were at a lower level. So you can start to kind of get you a kind of a roadmap set to where you're going to try to go later. Whether you chose the career or not, it just opened you up for opportunities. They'll come in and tell, well, I work for such and such corporation I work for, we do such and such, we do. You know, I remember vaguely, but I really didn't care because you don't think about it. Nobody told us the importance of trying to pay attention to these things because eventually you're not going to be a career student, you're going to be an adult. That's why most of us, we get out, first thing we do, we go to a fast food restaurant, run to a warehouse, start working. Because that's being honest, what we do. Till something better come, what better wind up coming? Nothing. Now you career what? In a warehouse. Career at a restaurant. You see what I'm saying? We wind up hitting dead ends because nobody pre-planned for us. Nobody ever really showed us how important it was to start looking at it. Like you said stuff, I want to be a doctor. Okay, give me a hand clap. All right, gonna be a doctor. Okay, that's all right, that's good. What you want to be, keep moving. So is this practical? You're a dummy. You bad with math, you can't read. Are we serious? You so stupid, you can't cut a straight line with scissors, they draw it for you. You go ahead and do a surgery on somebody's leg, you gonna cut all the way up to the neck and take the head off. So it's just certain stuff you gotta stop saying this is not practical. I'm just being honest. Or we start to strengthen their math skills, strengthen their language arts. You see what I'm saying? We gotta do one or two. Either it's not practical or we work to strengthen. But see, white people gonna set their kids so they're not just gonna sit there and talk with them. They're gonna set up, these kids gonna go to the hospital and they're gonna have doctors that's gonna take them through little courses. Internship, they're gonna have stuff so when they go into college, they already got time written up, they already created hours. Now they push these kids, you gotta have some type of hour, community service. They get all that at one time. This stuff didn't happen for us. So it's up to us to sit down and look at what's gonna be beneficial for us. We see what the system is. Is it practical to allow our kids to just keep just going through and say, when I came out of my mom, she was just looking at, get him out of high school. He ain't did. That pretty much all coming on. They were just looking at, I'm just trying to get you out of school. Then after that, you make up your mind. We can't let you do that. I can, Any parent here with that mindset, we need to talk. We're not doing that. Not one kid in here, you just finna grab, nigga, you better hold your breath. Right. You gotta do something. Yep. It's dangerous. Yep. Have a whole bunch of piece of hut niggas in here. Yep. True. I'm just being, I know it's funny to a degree, but let me say this. Society needs people to work at Pizza Hut. Society needs people to work at Burger King and Mac. They need them. And if that's something that you wind up doing, then we need to get you oriented where you at least have a mindset to move into management. Because there are people that say they work for McDonald's. You won't laugh when you find out what they get paid. There's some people work at Pizza Hut, they tell what they do. Regional vice president. Ain't nothing funny. So at least we got to try to teach them to stop going into careers and then you just stagnate it. Y'all got what I'm saying? This is our future. That's why white people pushing in such a proponent by education for their kids, because they look at, in order for them to keep their, I guess it's being a despot. They know they have to get their kids, they got to get them acclimated to keep them in a control. How many of y'all know what a despot is? A despot is a person that rules as like a dictator. That's all white people are, okay? They just basically set their people up so they can rule. They teach their kids so they can rule over you. We do something, we gonna vote. The white kid give them use some verb and say where they been or something. You say, well, they probably need to be the one over us. That's how they beat you out. You basically been manipulated in every decision you made because you don't have a lot of choices. You never had a lot of choices. Now, parents come along, oh, my kid going to college, great, and your kid still wind up at a fast food restaurant. College don't ensure us a future. When you go, let me tell you something, we have got to, and I'm telling y'all this, listen, let your kid get pissed. Later they'll appreciate you. You have to sit down and hand pick and help them with their career. No, that stuff, I don't want to do that. Oh no, you finna do something. You finna do something, I'm gonna put you somewhere. It's just been years ago, it was college and military. Okay, I was going to military. When them folks gave me that brochure to pick out, pick out a school, I went to the whole thing. I said nothing. I ain't lying, look that stuff, looking, I was going through, man, it was a whole list of stuff, look at what you can do. I went through everything they had. I said, what you want to do? He said, don't worry about it. He said, people do it all the time. He said, listen, he said, when you get in, he said, once you get in, he said, you can pick a school later. I seen a partner of mine that started care of my head, had a mustache cut that he walked through, he walked through the mall like them. I said, man, what's her name? Man, what's going on, man? I said, man, how you doing? He said, man, I hate it. I said, what? I said, you hate it? He said, man, I went in, he said, man, I ain't picked no school. He said, man, they got me parasite on the side of ships and paint them. That man said, he said, man, don't worry about that. He said, man, you can pick a school later when you get in now. That joke will paint a ship. Man, you'll never get done. Even when you retire, you know how big tell how big a ship is. Man, you scared on the side of a ship, painted and water and dolphins and sharks already. Man, your job will never get done. But see, they'll sell you bills of goods. And like we thought, well, a lot of parents did that in my era. They were pushing their kid, you don't go to college, then you go into the military. No direction. Y'all know how many people go to the military and never advance? Some of them just look at, shoot, I'm just him. I'm just for a check. You can't get that. When white people go, white people don't do that stupid stuff. White people gonna go there, they're gonna learn to go, and they're gonna try to move up from enlist. They trying to move up and become officers. Man, I don't want that old butt about, oh, man, them sucker job. That's what niggas say who ain't trying to do nothing. Right. Who just go, man, what you mean? Ain't no sucker job. Them folks ain't stupid. They look when I get out and do my career, my retirement check will look better than yours. Yeah. Nigga got to go break all his legs and his neck to try to get his money up. White folk walk out all their health and strength and got great money coming in. I'm telling you, because nobody told us. Nobody ever educated us on how to advance ourselves. The NAACP, nigga, apes, alligator, coons, and possums. Talking about for no advancement of our people. Where have they advanced us? And I don't want to just put all the pressure on the organization, okay? I want to put the pressure back on us. Because at some point, we should have and need to come together as a people and strategize for our future. Shoot, I do a lot of stuff, make sure them kids, the future of my kids coming behind my grandkid, they don't never have to beg and sweat and kiss nobody and suck nothing and put nothing in their mouth for nothing. That's why I bust my behind, I keep going. I want to set up somewhere, at least they get that opportunity. If it's something you want to do, you think about the luxury of, I'm not forced into something, I can actually make the conscious choice. You know how many women got married because of what? Forced into. Some of the marriages, because they were taught or they came from a long string, you just stay together. Versus, I was able to choose. This is something I decided. This is something I wanted to do. See, you know us. We've been pushed in everything just like a woman got pregnant. In order to cover up shame, hurry up and get married. People gonna do the math. Got married and had a baby 2 weeks later. It's a miracle. Let's stop it. I'm not buying no foolishness like that. And that's what happened when we start getting these bad decisions, bad career moves. We want to set up all our people to be able to have a better chance. I need you guys to really sound your kids on. You talk to them, look, they just slap piss out on them. Yo! And you let them know, say, that's what's going to happen to you out here. Let me tell you how. When these folks catch you on the street and you don't know, you pay for not knowing. I'm telling you, you pay for not knowing. It's a scammer, watch it. They'll see you. You knew. How you know? Got you. Read you. Now I'm finna take you on a trip. And by the time you get out of this rat hole I'm going to put you in, it's going to be too late. Take from us the experience we had from the bad decisions we got. Through Mr. Yahuwah, things have become a benefit, and all of the bad things we've suffered, we've gone through, that's been so you guys will have an opportunity. You don't have to make them decisions we made. You don't have to wait till you get duped and played a fool and sitting around with $150,000. You start out with a $25,000 student loan debt. They kept doing deferring and interest and payments, and you ain't making payments and skipping payments. Now you're at $150. You might well die. You'll never pay that off. You'll never pay it off. Take 30 years to pay off a house. Every house they gave it was 30 years. White folk got 10 in it. Most folk in the 70s. Uncle tell you in the 70s, did you own a home? I don't know, did you in the 70s? You didn't own a home in the 70s or the 60s? Did you know people that own homes or had houses? Did you know anything about anybody black that had a 10-year loan? What about a 15-year loan? They never offered them to them. You know, white folk in the 70s and 60s, they had already paid out 2 and 3 homes for the 80s. My mom bought a house, they bought a house in 78. You pay on that for 30 years. In 30 years with your age, what's going to be your health? What's going to be your income? What's going to be your career? Stop shutting down. You can't afford. Can we afford for these kids to wait 30 years to pay off a house? A house in 30 years? But for us, that was practical. We're just getting what we're saying. I don't want no 30 years. Give me a 25. You still too out. White folk get 15. They want to be in, out, and been bought another one. By the time in 30, they done bought 3. You're trying to figure, how they do that? They ain't even old enough to live 30 years. There you go. They be like how they were trying to figure out Yahushua, how he knew Abraham. Daughter not even 50 years old. I know. I've been here before. Isn't that right? I existed before he did. This knowledge, what I'm telling you, has always been here. People just deprived us of it. Now I want to come back and instill something back in our people. Get the salvation. Get this information so we can build. There's no more of us trusting none of these people do nothing for everything I need. Well, yeah, I got it. And some other people I got out there. We don't need nothing for this. Listen, it ain't even about hating white people. I taught y'all to hate nobody. Hate the ignorance that we've taken and the people that sat around. Most of the people that have been proponents for keeping us back have been our own people. If you said white people, then you ignorant. Our own people have been just as detrimental. The Jesse Jackson, Yarushalum, I'm just saying, these people they've been knowledgeable about that. Because they're in a circle. You know, these people tell you, let me tell you something. I know. I used to drive, when I got my own truck, I used to drive. But I learned how everything worked, the hustle of it, and how I used to do stuff, and I made my money. Man, we had guys, they would run out to go. They'd be gone for the week, come home one time a week, then the weekend they come home. And they used to talk about it. They'd be like, this man here make more money than we do, and we out on the road. And I would tell folk, I would try, like sometimes I see guys, I tell them, listen, you need to do this, do it. They would pull me, they said, listen. They said, don't be talking to them guys. They say, you know what I'm saying? You good. Don't be talking to them and telling them. They pulled me and tell me, said, listen, don't talk to them guys. You good. But I see a man, I look at me, I got a family, I see these people struggling. I'm talking to guys telling me they finna lose their trucks. So I have empathy. White black, I'm trying to look at it. You finna lose your truck. That was my fear when I first started. Them white folks, listen, they pulled me every time. They said, listen, talk. They said, listen. They said, don't talk to them guys. Them guys, I say them guys, listen, them guys was there panic, and I knew how it felt because I had been there. When you see him, you got all your bills, you got a truck, and you got a truck note, and you finna lose everything. Man, when I was in that bed, my heart was beating like, man, listen, I just stood up out of the bed. Man, it scared me to death. I had gone from my job, and I started out, man, everything went back. My heart was beating. I was laying in that bed, I said, I'm gonna lose my house, everything. I said, man, they finna be bad, I'm gonna lose my heart beat. I had already put in my mind it was over with. I had to catch my breath, get myself together. Boy, he worked it out. Yeah. So when I seen guys and they were talking about losing their stuff, I understood where they were at. I said, listen, this is what you need to do. Boo, boo, boo. Teach them how to do it. They always put them. They said, don't talk to them guys. They will keep those guys because they know they can make them do the dirty work. They knew they need their truck. They'll send them out some long goose chase, some stupid stuff nobody gonna touch. They couldn't get me to do. They make them run. I tell them, God, listen, no. Do what you need to do. Somebody help me out. Why would I not gonna help somebody else? I ain't running, none of them. There's no spirit come. God pulled me, really just pulled me and just told me, hey, this is what you need to do. So that benefited me. I looked at, why not help these guys? Right. See, we got to get that kind of care for ourselves. These other people, they don't care nothing about us. Everything we gonna have to do, y'all believe, y'all keep living. I'm gonna be gone out the wild. Another 50, 75 years, I think we talked about. So I can't be here forever. 75 years, that's all I can get y'all, all right? So after that, yeah, man, I'd make it 100. So anyway, after that. But y'all guys have got to learn to work together. Not just, we got to. We got to. Our future is this. If we don't have what they call African-American children out here, okay, let's sit down how to work. These people do what's called census. The census they do, they actually got it from the Romans. This is not nothing new, okay? This is, your book verified they did census. What the census are used for, so you'll know your population, your demographics, so you'll know what monies go where, and you'll know what kind of representation to put there. Help me out, Chris. We had this conversation. That's why you do them, right? So for us, what they teach us most of the, man, don't do no census, them crackers. I was not, same thing. Them crackers, keep up with your stuff. You don't know, and white people feel they do them. So when their numbers come back, they look like they outpopulate. That's why you get the numbers of you're only 12% of the 100% of the population, because you don't fill out the census. So because you don't fill out the census, they don't recognize you. See, in the time of Yahushua, before he was born, his mother, she was pregnant with him. And guess what they had to go do? They had to go up to do the census. So they were put on so coming from Bethlehem, Yehuda, how many we got? And then she's pregnant, so we're notating, this is a household of 3 right now. So when we come back to do census, the household grown, which means the population in Yehuda's grown, which means how much more funding they gonna need. Because there were 3 people, we was gonna give them $100. But now they got 100 people, how much money we gotta give them now? And as it continue to grow, more funding, not to mention, when it comes down to discussion, that's when you got your Congress, the different people. These people are all coming from all these different regions, so they can come in to and put a voice in and represent their people in their districts. This was important. When Yahushua was him, and it came down to him, even trial of him, you know how important it is when you go to court, you'll go there and tell you, first of all, you're in the wrong district. Right. This court don't have, that's why they sent him back to Herod. Right. Because that was his district. Right. Certain courts handle certain stuff. Go in here and go to court, just hypothetical, this all hypothetical. You just murder somebody. Go down there to traffic court and tell them. You there for a murder trial. It's not the district. You're in the wrong court. Y'all got it? And that's what we've been doing. And using that example, that's why we haven't gotten the right representation, the right protection, because we've been going to the wrong courts. I'm just being honest. In order to get validated, it's the same scenario I just used. You going to the traffic court for your murder trial. They don't handle that. We've been going because of situations we've been dealing with, and the people we've been going to don't handle our situation. Because they don't listen. They're going to represent their people. White people are going to fill out those census, and they're going to put more than what they have. So you thinking, man, they're going to be that. No, they want their numbers up. Why you think they call you minority? How you tell a nigga outpopulate you, he the minority? You see what I'm saying? Now, if you take the scenario when, not even the scenario, but a true situation, when it came down to Koskik Yah, when they came back and the people had got him, the Malak had got him upset and frustrated, and the people were afraid because he told them by not to be fearing these people. He said, because there'd be more with us. Why would they fear him? He had to tell them that then. Shouldn't they saw that with the numbers? They could have saw the people outnumbered them. So guess what he looked at though? Let's look at the authority. That's why white people outpopulate you. It ain't because they got the numbers, it's because of the arm they have the authority. When the police come, me and Justin have a situation, and the police come and we say, I got a situation, a person was assaulted, struck. They come, they get up. First person they're gonna be looking at, they probably want to talk to him first. What's going on here? They want to make sure they look at who to defend, how this gonna go. There's a white person here that make sure we represent the right person. We want to definitely make sure we don't just go false security. 9 times out of 10 they're gonna look and assume I'm be the assailant. 9 times out of 10 they're gonna look and assume I'm be the assailant. 9 times out of 10 they're gonna look and assume I'm be the assailant. 9 times out of 10 they're gonna look and assume I'm be the assailant. 9 times out of 10 they're gonna look and assume I'm be the assailant. 9 times out of 10 they're gonna look and assume I'm be the assailant. 9 times out of 10 they're gonna look and assume I'm be the assailant. 9 times out of 10 they're gonna look and assume I'm be the assailant. 9 times out of 10 they're gonna look and assume I'm be the assailant. 9 times out of 10 they're gonna look and assume I'm be the assailant. 9 times out of 10 they're gonna look and assume I'm be the assailant. 9 times out of 10 they're gonna look and assume I'm be the assailant. 9 times out of 10 they're gonna look and assume I'm be the assailant. 9 times out of Two of them still got a call, two gentlemen here. One of them saying somebody stole their wallet. They come on, they do a little, something, look, and they'll probably, you step over here for a minute, get them step over here. What's going on? Want to find out, anybody, I stole their wallet. Like, you stole it. Anybody seen it? Can anybody verify that? Oh, yeah. Hey, nigga, get out that parking lot before you go to jail. Right. But I just kind of drug that on a little bit, being humorous. But I wanted us to understand why things don't happen for us. And then the first thing we do is we try to blame it on our religion. Oh, it's our religion why stuff don't matter. It work out because of our ignorance. A lot of things don't work because of our ignorance. Everything I'm telling y'all now you change the dynamics of how stuff work for you. We have the power to do that. Y'all got it? All right, I'm move on. It's up to y'all what you do with it now. But make no mistake, I ain't got enough white people to stop me from doing what I'm going to do. I'm minded to do what I do. I am. You got to stay minded. Call the police and tell them somebody knocked on the water. Now, don't do that. They might beat the piss out of me. Think I did it. No, but, that's what I want us to do. I want us to be better. Everybody wants to be better. I like to see better for everybody. Even white, Asian. Why, I mean, at some point in life, why not? Why we can't exist in a place where things are just at least fair? No, you ain't gonna get everybody, but you still put things where people got an opportunity to change. That's what it's about. Giving people, listen, track, you ran track. How many lanes? 8. So if you run the inside lane and I run the outside lane, me and you should start about the same spot. Why not? So it'd be fair. It's not how it's gonna work? 8 is the outside, so you're gonna be further out. 1 is in, so running outside takes you around longer than once you get towards the end. Y'all hear what he's saying? He said because he's on the inside, it's closer to shorter run. The outside 8th lane, because it's further, it's out. They're typically gonna set you up where they're gonna set you a little further. It'll look like an advantage, but it's actually not an advantage. It's because when you do the research and you actually do the distance, this gives you a fair stand. He's gonna be back here. He on the inside. They might put me here because I'm all the way on the out. It'll look like, man, he in the front of him, but I'm actually not. They did the measurement and looked at it. In order for this to be fair, I need to be here if you give me the outside. You know, sometimes people pick something, why I gotta sit on the end? Why I can't? Well, let's do this. Let's sit it where it's fair. Depending on where you set the marker different. But you set it so everybody have a fair chance. Y'all got it? America never did that for us. They got enough sense to do that in track. You just think, say, well, I'm just fortunate I got the inside lane. You gotta play your hand where it's at. There's no way I can win on the outside. Right. That's where you been, nigga. Yep. That's where you been, nigga. It ain't been fair. The outside lane gonna get a further distance up. Just so it'll be fair. Now, they got that much sense with track. They ain't got that much sense with the human race. That's a race, too. But if you don't say nothing, if you good with it, and you don't, how about I don't know? To me, it look like they all a circle. We both just running. And that's the way we been. That's what, guess what? People don't know. What's the difference? We both run around in a circle. And guess what? White people, the system, have counted on us to be that illiterate. But when you measure it out, you'll look at this person on the outside has a further distance to run. It's going to be a whole lot harder for them to beat you. You're going to have to do a near walk for them to just to keep up with you. And that's what we have to look at. But if you don't bring it up and you don't have a problem with it, we leave you on the outside and say, listen, let's be fair. Everybody line up at the same spot. And it looks like it's even. But as the race progresses, you're going to find yourself, you're getting further and further away. That's what we need to become conscious of. All right, appreciate that. I will sign the Katos Sarah. All right. All those that's able. Most High Kudashaba, which is the separated Father, how do again for allowing us to be here, for all that you allowed us to see with our eyes, for all you allowed us to take in through our ears, that we might be receptible to that which you marred, commanded, unto your arm, your people. How do which is thanks for another yom you granted us. and this opportunity to be gathered as an adult, a flock or a fold, that we might be raw, which is shepherded. Without you, we could do nothing. We repent for anything we've done or said or any places we've gone to that could hinder or stagnate or that could even serve us, which would be badal, separate us from you. We allow unto you in which we ask that you have concede upon us, which is favor, according to the berith, which is the covenant that you shabbat, that you vowed to Abraham, Yitzchak, Jacob, the Yahudim, and Yasharal, to their Tuledah, which are their generations, even unto us, that you restore us to make us a Gui, which is a nation, not as the other Guim, the other nations, but one that is set aside apart, one that is a peculiar treasure, one that you set forth for your personal use. We ask you to grant us a like law, which is a like mind of Yahushua HaMashiach. Search us and see if there be any Rasha Darak, which are any evil ways. Cast it from us and lead us in the Arak everlasting. Let the debar of our paw, which are the words of our mouth, let the meditation of our law, which is of our hearts, be acceptable in your in your sight. And as we prepare to move further, we allow, in which we ask, that you take full control, that you get the tahalim, the praises, the kabud, the glory, and the kabad, the honor, in the Shem, which is the name of Yahushua HaMashiach. Let us all say, Amen. All right, let's try to be mindful of our time. Romans 15:4. I know always good for our foundation. That's our fundamental.
Yes, sir.
Romans 15:4. Listen.
For whatever Nikatab before,
For whatever was written before,
Nikatab for our Lamed,
it was written to show us
that we through endurance
that we through endurance
and the Nakum of the Ketubim
and through the consolation of what we've seen
might have Tikva.
might have Tikva. That's beautiful. Let me see something. Something come to my mind. Let's look at something. Since Lamed came up, when I heard the word teach, I never thought about it showing, but which is true because in school you do have demonstrations. Zachariah. I think in some places it's Zachariahu. Let me see if that's, we'll play with this. 12, no. 12, 13. 13, let's see if it's 13, might be 11. Let's play with them. Zachariah, they'll call it Zechariah. Might be 9, 11, 12, no. 13, possibly. Try 13, see if it's 11, 13, 11. It's on the 9 verses, what I said. So give me 8, let me say. Try 11. Let me see the last verse. No. Do see if it's 11 and 11. Well, what's that? Been a long time. I'm sorry y'all don't have nothing made up. Let's see. All right, we'll try this. 2 and 11. We'll see this what I want. 11. Zechariah. I'm saying 11 and 11. What did we say, Zechariah? I remember. That's important for and you know what? How this works for us? Why we look at that book? Because when he told us that whatever was Nikatab was written before was Nikatab, written for our to teach us, to show us, so that through endurance and Nakum, consolation of the writings, we might have You know what make you feel good sometimes? When somebody remember. Isn't that right? Think about it. Why would we go to the book of remember? Isn't that right? Even when they came down to us, the book said Yahuwah saw it. He didn't believe what he did. Zakar. He wrote a book that would let us know that Yahuwah has remembered. He was reminded. Y'all got it? So we have a book. So what you think the purpose of our Sefer is? So you can remember. Mm-hmm. It's all about remembrance. People get photos for what? Mm-hmm. Memories. Mm-hmm. So they can look back over and remember. Ain't that right? Sometimes photos will do the inner language because it'll show you. Right. Y'all got it? So we're looking through a book so we can remember, be reminded. All right, let's see what happens. Zechariah. Yah has remembered, 11:11. Let's see what happens. So let me see what 9 says. I just started right here. Let me see what it tells. I didn't want that verse, but we'll see what it is. We're here anyway. Let's see. Listen.
Then said I will not feed you. That moot, let it moot.
What? See, he said, I will not pasture you. So that which is going to be in the feeder. That's the person. That's the purpose of him taking sheep and putting them in pasture so they can eat, so they can feed. But he said, but what I won't do, I'm not going to feed you that which does what?
That moot, let it moot.
See that? It don't make sense. If I feed you stuff that dies, what's going to happen to you? Same thing. He said, well, I got to start giving you a different diet. But see, that's what a ra'ah does. He shepherds. So he looking at you as a fold, as a flock. Why am I going to give you that which died? Right? Mm-hmm. All right. He said that which died, let it die. And?
That is to be cut off. Mm-hmm. Let it be cut off. Mm-hmm. And let the rest eat, every one the basar of another.
Of his, see, he said of his, what for neighbor? What are you? That's a different right here. Her. What part we using for neighbor? All right, what was that? Who? How's it doing there? Is it R-A? What are we using for neighbor here? Ra'ah is what we use. How much about a good one? Ra'ah. That'd be like Ruath. Okay. Neighbor for neighbor. Okay. Okay. Appreciate that. A female associate, an additional one. In the sense of another, a mate, or a neighbor. Okay. Typically used as a female associate, but he's saying as a neighbor. Okay. Let's see. Hold on for a minute. Okay. All right. Listen to this out. Listen.
And I took my staff, even beauty, and cut it asunder, that I might break my berit, which I had made with all the arm. Mm-hmm. And it was broken in that yom.
On that day.
And so the poor of the flock that waited upon me.
That did what?
That waited upon me.
What they do?
Knew that it was the debar of Yahuwah.
See here he says, so it was broken on that yom, and thus the afflicted of the flock who were watching, that's how he would lumber them, that were watching me. They were watching him. Guess what they did? They realized that it was the debar of Yahuwah. That's what we realized when Yahushua was up there.
Yes, sir.
Your book tells you that.
Mm-hmm.
In the 19th chapter of the book of Yahuchanan, it said, and they shall look on him. Mm-hmm. That's right, they shall look on him. So a staff, that makes sense. He even talked to him one time, they want to know who then was my neighbor. He talked about a man doing good to people. That's what Yahushua did. Even the book declares that. I think in the 10th chapter of the book of Acts of the Apostles, when Cuff went up to see Cornelius, he told him that Yahushua was a man of prudence, and he went about doing good and healing the people. So we had a person gonna come, and he even told them, they sat down and eat. He told them to take, eat. That's right, but the book bear record to it. He said, I'm not gonna feed you that which died, let it die. He gonna give us something get more existent. That's what he told us, dude. He told us, this do ye in what was it? Remember. See, for zakah. Mm-hmm. So we remember he told us that we were gonna eat the flesh of our arayah, our neighbor. Mm. They asked him, they said, who did it? My neighbor. He started letting them know about a person doing good to people. That's what Yahushua was known about, going about doing too. Mm. So it made sense. See, when we sat down and do it, and that's what we were told. This do, and remember that. And at the same manner, he took the what? He took the cup. And what did he tell him it was? His dom. It made sense. What were you told about dom? That Kai was in it. And you were supposed to do that, so you was call him. So you be reminded. I appreciate you,
Yes, sir.
for everything that he give us and give this opportunity that we consider. It's so important for us to consider and understand the relationship that we have with him. Most people don't. Y'all know that? Most people don't. Let's see something right quick. See if that's, because I told y'all last night I was going to talk with y'all about it. See if that's your Ukanon 129. Y'all heard it before. This ain't nothing y'all don't already know. Yahukanan. Man, Daddy, go that bull. Is that the same thing? Can't just throw it out there. All right, this is the Ukanon 129. Listen.
The next Yom, Yahukanan seeth Yahushua coming unto him, and saith, Behold, the Lamb of Elohim, which taketh away the kata of the alarm.
Y'all see what he did? The next Yom, the next day, he saw Yahushua coming, and he declared that that was the Lamb of Elohim who bears the kata of the alarm. You know, taking away is one thing you can look, but you know, actually kind of lifting that burden off of us. The fact that he was carrying it makes a difference. It didn't just go away, somebody had to pay for it. Sometimes I think what happens to us, it's kind of like tickets when you speed. They're usually reasonable prices, aren't they? 25. Why not, I guess? Because they give you those high prices because it's trying to use, in a sense, not only for them to get revenue, but basically try to get you to kind of consider the expense behind your decisions. That's right. Y'all got what I'm saying? Then the points will start putting you to where you're in violation, or where you lose what they call the privilege. Because it's not a right, it's just a privilege. Privilege is something because that's something somebody gives or take away. That's not something that's automatically yours. We give you that. That's what Yahuwah does. What he gives us, this is a privilege. Y'all got it? And once you stack up so many points, he can take that privilege away. Somebody accumulate points quicker than others, and then in the book declare, so why should you moot before time? So you start considering. Y'all got it? And you consider the cost. So somebody had to pay for it, whether it cost you or cost somebody had to pay for it. And that's what Yahushua did, and him bearing it, he actually paid the price. Y'all got it? Debt didn't go away, somebody else just paid it. But it was in the consideration you weren't able to. Hello? We weren't able to, and none of us could redeem our all. And that we didn't have the ability to be able to do that. To get a person back to an estate to make up for a wrong situation. We saw Abraham did it with Luke, though, didn't we? Yes, sir. How much got to can we go and we can redeem ours now?
Nope.
In order to do that, we had to be able to empower ourselves.
That's right.
See, now in the time of Nakum Yah, that's what he set every man up to do, every each to do. That every each were going to give, and we were going to do it, that we were going to go back and we were going to redeem them. So guess what we learned? It's a cost associated with it. Just like with Yahushua. That's how we got into the 30 pieces of silver. It's a cost. It's always a cost. It's an expenditure to these things. And sometimes when it costs people large amounts, people tend to kind of say, I'm going to be a little more careful. Man, come on here. He says, no, man, no, I'm not going to do that. Man, that cost me, that thing stayed on a long time. It was hard to get that off of. The money I had to come back and get back and what I had to do to get back to where now, you know, it's not hurting me. I can't afford to do that again. That's right. That's why you got to be when it come down to Qatar.
That's right.
So when we saw him, we saw somebody that was actually sitting around that was carrying our too. So you're looking at your transgression on somebody else. He even told her that the reproaches of them that reproach thee, I'm bearing it. So now you were in the state, and now you're getting to see someone carry it and pay for it, and realizing it should have been you. It should have been you. Y'all got it? That's something you look and see somebody go down for something you did. Anybody ever did that growing up or anytime somebody else wound up paying for something you did? And you should have got, you think like, yeah, Ryder said, yeah, I know. Yeah, Ryder one come to mind too. Ryder said, thank you, Kennedy, very much, Kennedy. I appreciate you, Kennedy. But you see what I'm saying? And somebody else paid the price for it. And you, in a sense, they say, you got away. You know what sometimes make you look at? I ain't gonna do that again, because it should have been me. And I don't want to get myself in that condition again and it wind up being me. And seeing someone else suffer for it, it makes you have a gratitude, in a sense, for them, and an appreciation, the fact that and that's what we got to say, a gratitude and appreciation, because that should have been me. That's right. Okay? So when he seen it coming, he was letting the people know this was the person that was going to carry the kata of the alarm. Not just of our GUI, but he was going to carry it for all the nations. Can you imagine that? For all the nations. Okay? Let's see what happened.
This is he of whom I said, after me cometh Anish, which is preferred before me.
So why?
For he was before me.
Prior to. Because you just figure how in the world somebody appreciate this man you hear, you older than him, and you say he was before you. And we understood that from the twins. Isn't that right? Because the sign was his hand. That's right. That's how Elohim created all things by his hand. Then we learned his hand was Yahushua. That's right. Let's hold what you got. See the first chapter of the same book, please. One and one. Let's say 1 and 1. That's 1 and 3. I'm missing something. That's 1 and 2, 1 and 1. Let's see. Listen.
Barashit was the Debar.
In the beginning was the Word.
And the Debar was with Elohim.
And the Word was with Elohim.
And the Debar was Elohim.
That's tight. And the Debar was Elohim. Listen.
The same was in Rashid with Elohim.
The same was in the beginning with Elohim. Let's see what happened.
All things were made by him.
Everything made to be through his hand.
And without him was not anything made that was made.
And without him, not even one made to be all that was made to be. Let's see what he told us.
In him was Kai.
In him was life.
And the Kai was the Arura of Anashim.
So it made sense when he fed us this time in flesh that he was going to feed us one that wasn't going to die no more. Because in this man was Kai. It made sense for him to feed us his basar because in him was Kai. So it made sense to feed us Kai. He said, I'm not going to feed you that which died anymore. Isn't that right? That which died, he said, go ahead and let that die. Y'all got it? But I'm going to feed everyone the flesh of his Reah, his neighbor, his companion. Y'all got it? So it made sense because now we're learning what was in the person that we were eating. It was life. Hello? This is actually, when we read in Zechariah, that's not actually a new premise about us eating flesh of people. We actually did it before. When the Malaka of Yasharal, when he heard that there were two women and they said, today, let's kill your being and eat. And tomorrow we'll kill mine. They were looking at not dying, so they took their own son and killed him that they eat. How many of y'all not familiar with this? Good, they are familiar with it. On the next June, when it came to our next lady, and she was a nigga, y'all know how we do it. Yeah, I ain't really that hungry. You know what I'm saying? You know how nigga, you old nigga, you was starving yesterday now. Yeah, I'm full though. I can't eat another bite. I can't eat another son. Isn't that right? I just ain't old girl boy. That's how they do it. And when the Malak heard it, you know what he did? He rent his clothes. He walked upon the wall of Yashra, and he cried out, sobbed out. We had heard. They came to bring the situation to him for the mosh pot it. They want him to mosh pot the situation. He want to know what's the situation between y'all two women. She said, well, we made an agreement that we were going to eat my son one day and her son the next day. When I gave my son up and we ate the next day, she wouldn't give up her son. And all he could say, look at, are you serious? So, and they only did it for what? For Kai. So now we learn in him was Kai. So if you're dying and you wanted Kai, what's the best way to get it with this information you're hearing now?
Eat something with life.
Eat something that gives life. So we understood that premise as well when he put us in Yarushalum, in the land of Canaan. He said, I put you here so you won't moot. So everything that was conducive for Kai was in Yarushalum. I gave you Ma'im, and he even told you, any man thirst. So you understood the premise. You already had all these things. You had things that were conducive toward life, even from the vegetable, and then a lifestyle, an obedience. All these things were conducive. Then I told you what to do to continue. That you build you Beth, that you get you a Shah, get you Ish, get you husbands, so you can have Benin, so that you will live and not moot. These were things that were important for us, so we understood it from a natural standpoint. Now we just had to translate this over to understand it from the Ruachni, which is from the spiritual, okay? All right, we'll finish up. Let's go back over to what we had in the book of Yukonon. Same book, right? When was it? 29, we left out 30? Same book, one. I think we left, where we at, 30? We left off at?
We're starting 31.
31, okay, starting 31. Well, 30, I did talk about why I said he was there before prior, because he told you he did everything by his hand. That's how we understood that Yahushua was the hand of Elohim. Because he said without it was nothing made. So Yahushua was the vessel, the tool that he used. That's why he knew he was here before me. Yahushua understood he was here before me because this is what he used in order for him to barak, create. And I wasn't here then, but he was. Now, you know me from the flesh being here, and I'm telling you that he was here before me. Y'all got it? When they came down to Abraham, when he talked about Abraham, they want to know how old he was. They were going back looking at chronological. Well, I'm going to use chronological because they use chronological for them. Chronos, the Greek god of time. We're not trying to use chronological. That's how you got the book Chronicles. Because the Greeks, everybody play with you and they give you their names and they get you to kind of think the way they do things. Y'all got it? Let's see what happened. I did not. 31.
And I knew him not.
And I didn't know him.
But that he should be made manifest to Yasharal.
Be revealed to Yasharal.
Therefore am I come immersing with
to
Ma'im.
Immerse in Ma'im. All right. Go ahead.
And Yehukanan bear record saying, I saw the Ruach descending from Shamayim like a dove.
In the likeness.
And it abode upon him.
And it rested on him.
And I knew him not.
And, hold on, I did not know him.
But he that sent me to immerse with Ma'im, the same said unto me,
The who?
Upon whom thou shalt see the Ruach descending and remaining on him.
And resting upon him.
The same is he which immerseth with the Ruach HaKadosh.
That's what they did. So he came symbolism doing it with Ma'im for cleansing, for purifying, and then Yahushua was going to come along and he was going to seal us with the Ruach. He said, that's how I began to know who he was. He said, I didn't know him, but the person that sent me gave me the ox so I can identify him. This wasn't somebody I'd known at the first. But when I saw what he did, that became what we'll call, from a criminal standpoint, that was evidence.
That's right.
That was the evidence that I needed to proclaim. That's what people did in the Holy Church. They asked you got the evidence of speaking in tongues? If you say you had it in the Holy Church, they call it evidence. Who remember they using that terminology? The other go, they said, you got the evidence of speaking in tongues? Because then that will make you guilty of having it. You see what I'm saying? Well, what Yahushua did made him guilty of being the person that could grant you the spirit of separation.
That's right.
Y'all got it?
That's right.
Even in the 7th chapter book of Abbarim, it said that it was evident that our Adon sprang. You see what I'm saying? And you look at you spring jump, but then you also use spring for growth tide. Y'all got it? That he sprang out of Yehuda. Y'all got it? Okay. He said, which he spake nothing concerning. That he spake nothing concerning the. It's tight. 17th chapter, right quick. See, pick up the book of Shaphatim. They call Judges. Shaphatim, 17. We'll use 2. We'll go down. Let's see 4. Make it 4. I don't waste all the time. 17:3. Let's see what this is. Let's see how that work out. Listen. Hold on. Listen.
And when he had restored the 1,100 shekels of silver to his aim said, I had wholly dedicated the silver unto Yahuwah from my hand for my bin, to make a graven image and a molten image. Now therefore I will restore it unto thee. Yet he restored the money unto his aim, and his aim took 200 shekels of silver and gave them to the founder, who made thereof a graven image and a molten image, and they were in the beth of Mikyahu.
Mikyahu, yeah.
And the Ish Mikyahu had an beth of Elohim, and made an ephod and a teraphim, and consecrated one of his beni, who became his cohen.
He consecrated who now?
One of his beni, who became his cohen.
Go ahead, read that.
In those Yamim, there was no Malak in Yasharal, but every Ish did that which was Sadiq in his own
What does it say? 7?
And there was a young Ish out of Beth Lacham, Yehuda.
You said that was what now?
A young Ish.
Where was he from?
Out of Beth Lacham, Yehuda, of the Mishpachah of Yehuda.
Let's see what happened.
Who was Louis, and he sojourned there.
Mm-hmm.
And the Ish departed out of the city from Beth Lacham, Yehuda, to sojourn where he could find a Malkum. Mm-hmm. And he came to the Har Ephraim, to the Beth of Mikyahu, as he journeyed.
I can imagine. Let's see what happened.
And Mikyahu said unto him, Whence comest thou?
And
he said unto him, I am of Louis of Beth Lacham, Yehuda, and I go to sojourn where I may find a Malkum. And Mikyahu said unto him,
What could he have told him?
Dwell with me.
Stay where?
Dwell with me.
And what you want me to do?
And be unto me a Abba.
And what else could I be?
And a Kohen.
Uh-huh.
And I will give thee 10 shekels of silver by the Shana, and a suit of apparel, and thy victuals. So the Louis went in.
That's what you do. Y'all know Yahushua got the same story. He was from Bethlehem, Yehuda. That's where he was from. He was also part of Louis.
That's right.
And the man wanted to make him his cohen. So even when they go to tell about he sprang out of Yehuda, so this man too. He actually bared on both ends. When you check his aims to Ladar, you'll find out he sprang from Louis as well. We go with the father well, they both tie in to Yehuda coming down, but you'll hit one spring inside of his aims to Ladar, and you're gonna find where they connect back into Louis. Y'all got me? Yes, sir. Okay. I'm just trying to make sure he covers himself. When you say he sprang out of Yehuda and he also was a Kohen, you also got to go back and look and know what you're doing. He had to make sure it still be right. Because the man broad budded. And he did tell me he was the only one going to come before him. So he had to cover his end. Some people just say, well, you know, when it's the Lord, he can't do what he want to do. That's what we do. All right, let's see what happens. Pick that up and see. I ain't got to play with this now. Zechariah 12 and 5, 6, 5, let's see. Go in there read it, but you can see how he tied him in, though. And it is evident he sprang out of there. You go back and look at it, all we got to do is look at the Tuladab. They'll show you. We'll look at his father's Tuladab, and we'll look at his Aim's Tuladab, and you'll see it is evident. But you also see where he tied in Louis. So, car, y'all, 12 and 5, I said? Let's see. I just want to make sure we're proficient in what we're doing. Let's see, this 12 and 1. And why are we going here? So we can be reminded. Because he remembered. See, some smart behind her come along and look at he did something outside of character and broke protocol, then they can do it too. He never broke it. Listen. All right, listen.
And the governors of Yehuda shall say in their Lob, the inhabitants of Jerusalem shall be my strength in Yahuwah of Sabaoth, their Elohim. Mm-hmm. In that Yom will I make the governors of Yehuda like an hearth of fire among the wood, and like a torch of fire in a sheet.
What happened?
And they shall devour all the arm round about.
Nazareth. All right. So they shall consume all the right hand and on the left, on the right hand and on the left, all the surrounding, what do you put, arm for them? Army. All right. While Jerusalem shall be inhabited again, and their own sites in Jerusalem. Okay, come on. The sites, he put it for region, area. 7, verse 7.
Yahuwah also shall save the tents of Yehuda first.
That's what I'm talking about. That's why he had to come. The book say he came into Ahuna. That's why he had to tell you that. A lot of times we read it, he had to come to us first. Because the book said he was going to save their tents first. That matah, he had to save them first. I don't know, they'll say he came to save the world. You better get it right. He going to save the tents of Yehuda first. That's right. Isn't that right? He had to come to Yehuda first. Even Shaul told us that in 1:16 in the book of Romans. He said, for I'm not ashamed of they said the good news of Elohim. He said, for it's the power to everyone. Who is everyone? What nation is everyone? Everyone is everybody that will believe. But then why he going to say to the Yehudi first? Because he had to justify. He did. He saw a harp the alarm that he did give him. But you better make sure you know first, it's to the Yehudi first. Yeah. That's why Shaul had to agree to that way. Because otherwise, see, we accepted his speech when he told us that in 1:16 of Romans, you shouldn't until you knew what the Torah said. He said he got to say the tents of Yehuda first. That's right. That's why they came down the 3rd chapter, he tried to tell these folks about circumcision and all these different things. And he told her that we received the lie of the oracles.
Right.
He had to tell, he said, we got it first because she bared it. It came from Yehuda.
Right.
So it was to us first. Isn't that right?
Right.
Even when he said the raw down to see Yahusha in that tent, he told him, he let them know, under you is born this Yom. He told it to them first. And he said that was a Yasha. Isn't that right? Yahusha the Adon. So it's important for us to understand it's going to be to Yehuda first, so that the Kabul of the Beth of Daud and the Kabul of the inhabitants of Jerusalem shall not be magnified above Yehuda. This read a little different, don't it? How does yours read?
That the Kabul of the Beth of Daud and the Kabul of the inhabitants of Jerusalem do not magnify themselves against Yehuda.
Okay, say above, against. Okay. But Daud was from Yehuda. Come on.
In that Yom shall Yahuwah defend the inhabitants of Jerusalem.
See that? He said in that Yom he's going to defend it. What happened?
And he that is feeble among them at that Yom
shall be who?
Be as Daud.
And?
The Beth of Daud shall be as Elohim.
Like what?
As the Malachi of Yahuwah before them.
Okay, we'll go. The weakest one we got going to be like Daud. Listen.
And it shall come to pass in that Yom that I will seek to destroy all the Goyim that come against Jerusalem.
Come on.
And I will pour upon the Beth of Daud and upon the inhabitants of Jerusalem the Ruach of Khan and of supplications, and they shall look upon me whom they have pierced.
See that? That's why we had to look at him. That's why he had to put him there. We had to look on him. He was pointing. We knew it was supplication. That was Khan to us. Isn't that right? And why was he wounded? For our transgression. And by his stripes, we were healed. See that? Listen.
And they shall mourn for him,
How?
as one mourneth for his only being,
See that? For his only being. Listen.
and shall be in bitterness for
Hold
him.
on. Y'all turned it up already for you. Hold on. And shall be in bitter. And hold on. And shall be bitter.
For him, as one that is in bitterness for his firstborn.
Y'all know we came out of Mizraim, we had to eat bitter herbs.
That's right. That's right.
When something bitter, how does it make? How you look when you eat it?
Face grinch up.
It showed for us. When you think about it, when we came out, we had to eat it, we had a lamb, and we also had to eat bitter herbs.
That's right.
He said, woo, that thing sour, woo. He said it'd be like that, just like one over his only being. Y'all know that? And that's why when we found him in the 24th chapter of the book of Oriah, they called Luke, when they were walking, and he asked them why when they walked one with another, that they were, what was it? They were bitter. They were bitter. And Cleophas told us why. Cleopas. I said that, Cleopas told us. That man said that thing so nice. And Cleopas. I said, his name Cleopas? That man came in his own word. And his Abentura. I said, I didn't know that. I said, Abentura? I said, but no. He said, what? He said, well, I put law and father together. His Abba and Torah. Man, just put this stuff together. So, but you know, you got Hebrew Israelite groups though that do that. What they'll do, they will, like every word, they'll change it just to a Y. They'll do that, they'll just put it as a Y, just start calling everything a Y. Instead of something, it's like, but you know, but I guess I don't want to criticize to destroy if a person honestly trying. Because for a lot of our people, I've been a big critic on a lot of things. I still will be on some stuff. But I mean, if a person honestly trying,
Right.
So we use Jesus, and it's complete preposterous and backwards.
Right.
But I know it was honestly on my end. I definitely wasn't using it because I thought it was something else, and I just wanted to use it anyway. That just wasn't me. Right. I cut down on Jesus for it. I cut him down. Yeah. I know that threw everybody that day. We was on million. I remember I cut it down. So I didn't want to leave no gateway to look like you can switch it up, like you can go back and forth. You can't go back and forth.
That's
I did
right.
like Shaul said, I left them things behind me.
That's
I
right.
was pressing toward the mark.
Yes, sir.
Oh, he said, forgetting them things. He said, I'm pressing toward the mark.
That's right.
Some people try to leave that gateway. It might be a chance. If you believe it's a chance to be wrong, don't leave it.
That's right.
I mean, a chance to be right, stay with it.
Yep.
I know it ain't right.
That's right.
When you looking at, just simply looking at the date, it makes no sense. Mm-hmm. The thing ain't even 1611. There's no way you're going to justify it today when it never even been used until after then.
No way.
There's just no way. It makes no sense.
No
Some
way.
people say, well, you just want to be careful. You need to be careful and stop using it.
That's right.
You can't place set it. It ain't old as 1611. 1611 ain't even old enough to even use to say this one I'm going to use to justify my salvation. It makes no sense. It's too many. By 1611, what is it? I'm sorry, about 1520, they already had over 200 copies. 200, it's believed they already had 200 different versions already written in the 1500s. And you're going to pop up with Johnny Come Late to 1611 and lay your life down on it? That's crazy. But see, we never had that knowledge. I had my former pastor, he had a doctorate degree. He was in education. He ain't know no better. He was real ignorant. He ain't know no better. He ain't know no better. These folks go get college degree, be ignorant. He was lazy. He ain't want to know nothing else. He wanted to stay in that same premise because it was safe. Like what we do, you got to venture out. That's just better. You got to venture out and really go into saying, I got to have an open mind and look and consider. It's not possible that 1611 is enough to save you. 1611 it's got too much missing information. It's been redacted too many times. Man, I remember, let me tell you something. Man, how many of y'all drank Kool-Aid growing up? Y'all good kids. How many of y'all didn't drink Kool-Aid when you come back? When y'all grew up? Bad kids. Hold on for a minute. Nigga, I know you drunk. You ain't drink no Kool-Aid. You just raised your hand. I said, how many didn't drink Kool-Aid? No, didn't drink Kool-Aid. Man, I lost my fight. I don't know what it meant. I was missing. No. But I use that to say, when I was drinking Kool-Aid, I remember we get that Kool-Aid, you had ice. That purple Kool-Aid, that's my favorite. That purple, yeah, that's great. And then I'm telling you, they're red too. That's strawberry. Wait, but gone. I'm telling you what could now. They'll sneak around it. The apple was serious too now. The apple hit around there and hit you now.
Oh yeah.
And I'm telling you, really want to get. Hold on, the apple was bad.
No, it was good.
Tell you out there to my bad now. Cause you ain't had the right. You probably had that Chicago one. They probably had bullets in it. You know Chicago. You bought the Kool-Aid out there. Every time they had a bullet inside the Kool-Aid. Y'all remember them Kool-Aid thing you pop out and had a little candy thing in there, and you put that can in and eat it. You remember that? What? They had a bullet. In Chicago, they had a bullet in them. Picks and stick. You pop that thing. How many of y'all remember you stick that can and stick it and get it? But that's a meal, boy. That's a meal. But anyway, you get that Kool-Aid, man. I remember drinking, get it, and you drink that thing, and it get down. You add some water to it. You add some water, get it back up. You put some water, add that water, get it back up. But the more you keep adding water, and then you have to add some sugar, get sweet, eventually you're losing. You start losing, it start going from great, it start lightening it up. That's why it's just a little lusty, it's just a little dusty water. You know what I'm saying? But, and I said that's all they done when it came to the book. It's been redacted too much. And every time you take away some of our verbiage, you take away a lot of our validity. Because you're replacing it with words that they'll define for you that's not actually in the sense of how it's actually used. They're like, we look at a mother. What's a mother? A mother. What is a mother? A one that bears a child. What you gonna say? No, we said a mother.
The one that raised the child.
One that raised a child. What? She begot the child. No, she can't. She got the child. No, that's not what a mother is. What you gonna say, James? Who? A guider. What we're gonna use, those are what we're gonna use for aim. So we look at a mother, somebody that feeds you and clothes you. Somebody cook dinner, somebody iron your school clothes, stuff like that, versus how they looked at a mother as a director. You know what I'm saying? Like he told a woman, I will therefore that a woman bear. What is he telling us? What I said? What did I say something? Oh, I will therefore that. Kerry got his own down. Don't be putting on. That's all that way. He's still fighting with me. Preacher's just wrong. I can see that. Yeah, Preacher's still healing. He gets stuff like that. No, but you think about, see, for aim, you're looking at a guide. Like he said, I will therefore that the young, in 5th chapter, 1 Timothy, they call it, 5 and about 2, he said, I will therefore the young women marry.
Bear children,
and
guide the house.
So you got it, you're directing how things should go. All that's inclusive, the feeding, all that. But more than just, my mom used to iron my clothes, mama used to cook. We're talking about direction. And that's something our women didn't understand. Because just like I was talking about setting our kids up in career goals, putting them in certain areas or putting them in certain direction, that was something of the aim. So your aim, like they said, before you shoot, make sure you aim. You don't hit the wrong person, make sure it goes in the right direction. You finna spit it, make sure when you spit it, so you need to aim and make sure where it's going. And that's the purpose of the aim. She's actually putting them in a direction they should go. When we look at Malak Lamiel, with him, his aim, what she directed him. She told him not to be sitting around drinking. She would get in direction because it's gonna mess you up. She said, you give drink to him. That's right, that's sorry. She said, you don't need it. She said, it's not given to him a lot. So she's guiding him. Because as you come along, I'm setting you up because you're going to be an emperor. And being an emperor, you can't sit around with these people and be drinking. You know what I'm saying? You got to be mindful of what you're doing. Now, as an emperor, you're going to wind up getting you a malka, what they'll call a queen. Not I don't call her a queen, an empress. So getting her, he told her, she let him know who can find. Isn't that right? Kyle. Isn't that right? A warrior fighter. You see what I'm saying? He's looking for somebody. You're going to need somebody with you because you look at him a lot. He's typically his people out in the fight. So you're going to need a woman who can do all of these things, who's going to look well to the ways of her house or her belt and how things should be done. So this is how important an aim is. Not just a lot of women can be mothers, but we're talking about being an aim. You know what I'm saying? And having that type of character about herself. Y'all got it? So when you just say mother, that's just something you give somebody a card in what month it is? May? It is just somebody you go and kiss her and you give her some flowers. When you look at what an aim really is, she actually is directing. She's actually putting them in a direction. Just like Yahushua. She had him in a direction. See, look at, listen, you think a Malachite done came out here and told her that she was going to have a being and he was going to come from the Most High and she wasn't finna be guiding him. You can't, no, I got to guide this. I can't lose this one. He entrusted me with bearing somebody that's going to carry the Kata'ima, the whole Arise, the whole alarm. Don't you know I got to be mindful of what he does and what he gets into? What he sees me do, because she's aiming him into a direction. So when you use mother, you kind of take away validity when you saying aim. Y'all hear it? Because you talking about aiming, you talking about being dead on. You go target shoot, you hit the end of the paper at the top. You say, I hit it, but you say, yeah, you off though. You know what I'm saying? You hit the paper, but you missed money. You just need to be more centered. Y'all got it? And that's what a real, what they'll call a mother does. But you can't do it. Most women just think they're just going in and just vacuuming and doing those are primary things. It's important for you to know there's a certain way you got to make sure things are done for the future of your kids. Y'all got it? And they don't teach them that. They just tell them don't hold. You can now hold and still send the kid the wrong way.
That's right.
It ain't about, well, my child say I want no hold. That don't mean you're aim.
That's right.
Y'all got it. There's a lot of women in the hole that still get kids. They crackheads.
Yeah.
We're talking about directing them in the way that they should go. He told you to train up a who? And what? So you're aiming them. And the only people understand that, when you grow a tree or sometimes a plant, sometimes some will go straight, some will tend to do this number here. And you got to try to get some boy stick, and you got to prop them up and try to get them to change direction. That's the same thing when a woman get a rod. Because that child, I need to change your direction. You going the wrong way, I'm finna whoop your behind. So I can get you to go your shawl. I need you to go upright. So you understand how important the rod was. Think about it. They use sticks. They tie the plants and tie the tree to get them to go up straight. Until they get to a certain way, you say, go get what you do. You can untie it now. Just like you do. When you see your child guy, I can put the rod down. Some of you, every time they go, you're a little kid, you gotta keep that belt. They get a certain, you realize, now I can put the belt down. You understand where you're going now. Y'all got it? So you see, when you're using mother, you take away sometimes the validity of the aim. Y'all got it? Just like the Abba. We just talking about the strong man of the house. He told you that, listen, he said you can't overtake a house unless you first bind the strong man. So that lets you know how important the father has to be, and that how to make sure other outside influences don't come and destroy him. His little friends and cronies and other stuff and gangs and drugs, he making sure nothing come and tear his house up. These guys just think it just pay the bills. Isn't that right? He said, knowing this, that had the two each other bed, what he would have did. He said, I've been watching. He said, I wouldn't let anybody come tell my house. So that father got to be something he watchful. He got to be mindful of everything. My dad can't say, I don't want that nigga in my yard. Get him out. Them kids, my dad told me about, them kids locked up, them kids gay, dead, died from AIDS. He called it. I was a kid. I seen as a kid. Them my friend. I ain't see them kids we sit around no second grade gonna grow up and be no homosexual. I ain't see that I just didn't see no. Why I'm gonna see that in the second grade? Right. They ain't have no pocketbook or man. I ain't see them kids going in the second grade. I seen them going to prison. Man, you gonna go to prison when you grow up. I see no fool. We just playing. But here we got the experience. I've been around. I said, that kid, I don't want him in my yard. He said, he ain't allowed in my yard. He best not be in it. He tell you best not. That's a whole word. That's a whole thing. He said he best not. Anybody dad talk like they hear them word? My dad said best not. Please play with that. So what I did, I was smart. We played while he ain't him. By the time he come, they got the yard. Let's go. No, I wasn't. Best not. Henry can't pop up him walking man that nigga in his yard. That's it. Both of us gonna die. But you know what I'm saying? People saw that through experience, and that's what you look at. He was trying to look at keeping his home from getting broken up, keep things out, and that's the operation of the Abba, making sure things are not going. He's the protector of that home. He's the strong of the home. He's got to lead. When you look at the Allah got to lead. He got to be able to teach. He even talked about the angry father. Provoke not your children to what? But do what? Bring them up in the nurture and in the warnings of. That's what we got to do. That's the same thing that Abraham did with Yasakak and them. And the same thing Yasakak going to do to Yaakov. They were reminding him of what his Abba done. He was benefactor. We are benefactors of what our Abba done, even from our punishment to our deliverance. That's why you look at the Catholic Church, they know your book better than you. You know they get these priests, guess what they call them? And guess what he told them to do? Be a cohen and be an Abba to me. Think about how that shows you the Catholic Church ran through your stuff and realized you were going to figure out how they put it together. He knew when you put a man here, that man rule over you just like a father.
That's right.
He told you not to rebuke a Zakan, but do what? And treat him as an Abba. Isn't that right? And the older Ishah, he wants you to treat them as Ain't. They're trying to direct it. When Ain't Smith trying to tell y'all all cool to do something and which way y'all need to do it, that's what you need to be doing. Y'all dealing with experience. A lot of times you'll be young, you got some school, you ain't got no experience. A lot of women think what they'll do, when you get a child, your whole life change. One child change your heart, two of them will have you a whole nother direction. Every time you get a child, everything changes. It just changes. What you got to do, your obligation, how you got to be there, and what you got to try to be able to produce. They're not information trying to keep you from making mistakes that mothers do in early trimester, early season, or when they're having kids. That's why you got now somebody who's already gone through it. Somebody who can point you in the right direction. That's how you keep the same protocol. When we pull out, we say Abraham, Yasakak, Yaakov, then who we call? Exactly. It's some more, you said it show a break. It show you a break. Once we got in Mizraim, what happened? He lost us. When we got to Mizraim, that lost it. That about done it for us. Got here and we just about lost, so now we're trying to regain and come back to. So in order to be recipients of what he said he's going to do for Abraham, then we got to be mindful to do the works of Abraham. When they told him they were to be in Abraham, what did he told them? He said, if you'd have been Abraham, he said, then do the works of it. I'm going to sit here and say there's an apple tree. Then what the apple tree need to do? Man, put some apples out. Don't be called no Abraham and you ain't got no works of no Abraham.
Right.
That ain't just something you just float out your mouth. That's a behavior you got to manifest. That's who he's acknowledging. It's as important to us as it was that Yaakov had taken over the birthright of Asu, that they'll call Esau. It was that important. You wasn't getting at that. The Abba was only minded to give it to Esau. He was never minded to give it to him. That's right. It was never minded. The only way he was able to achieve it was to mimic the exact same behavior and produce what he wanted. It wasn't just putting on and having no smell. I told him to make such things as I. That's why he told her with Yahushua, this my Yadadai being, in whom I'm well pleased. That's why he ever tell. He said, the Abba hobbit me. Because he did the will of it. That's why he Asu. Asu did what pleased him. He know what I like. He makes what I like. When I have a desire for things I like, I look to Asu. So now Yaakov had to look at, in order to receive what he was going to give to him, then you got to mimic. People try to run and get on Yahushua. You don't bear none of the traits of the behavior of.
That's right.
You just can't go summons and call no name. You got to be required to do what he did to achieve. They just thinking all it is, just go get baptized in his name and get up and there you go. Just a wet devil. That's all, wet Satan.
That's right. That's right.
I don't want to be no wet Satan. So it's that important for us to make sure we understand what we have to do. Now, I know I called it back, but go back to Zechariah right quick. I'm trying to get y'all. Get y'all finished. Then put a connection. Most how we'll come back in another time and finish up some stuff that y'all need to know. We all need to know. Mm-hmm. Our goal to him to do one thing, get it right.
Yes,
That's
sir.
First and primary. Nothing else. You can't hear for anything other than that. You can't. You watching for anything other than that. You watching the wrong thing. That's 12 and 10 of Zechariah. Listen.
We're at 11 now.
So what now?
Want me to reread 10 or start at 11?
Oh, 11. Okay, start. Did we get to 11? Yeah, you read 11.
Yes, sir.
12 and 11. Listen.
In that yom shall there be a great mourning in Jerusalem, as the mourning of Hadadrimmon in the valley of Meggidon.
Now what we got to do, Boss, we got to look that up now, so I know what's going on. He quoted a place. I don't think we have a whole lot of writings on it, but now we'll go back and we'll look and see what it is now since he said it. So, because it makes no sense to call the name and tell you where the place was, except there's a connection to. Y'all got what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
So that's something we got to be able to correlate. He said, in that yom, there's going to be a great cry like it was now. Now we need to know what kind of cry was it? How bad was it? Y'all got it? Because we mimic it to make sure it's the right reason. Hadadrimmon.
Yes.
A place in Yarushalum.
Correct, which is actually a compilation of two words. The first word is Hadad, which means the name of an idol. Of
several kings.
And of several kings. And
Adom. Yeah.
Hadad, and then when you go back to it, the second word is Rimmon, which is the name of Syrian deity.
Okay. Fireplace in Yarushalum. Let's do that, boss. Can we pull up the situation? Or is this only quoting it and it's not in the writings?
Pull up which one, preacher?
Can we locate where it's at in the writings?
Yes.
Please, let's read. Oh, it's in Yahushua 19 and 13.
The actual the Syrian deity.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Wait, name both of them. Let's see what it says.
Okay.
So I want to find out what happened. He also got at all of Dabri Hayamin 6 and 62, and 6 and 67. If he called it for us, it's important for us to know what was the cry or the mourning. That makes sense? Because we can just read it and keep saying, okay, what happened? What happened? Like it said in the book. I mean, I don't know what happened. It don't strike me. It just makes sense to know why. Because now we got to remember, that's how you have to be able to follow it to the letter to make sure that that's him. Just like when Yuchanan said, I don't know him. We don't know him. But the only way we be able to identify him is because of the evidence. So now when he said in that yom, it was going to be a cry like it was there, I need to be able to find out what's the similarity. Y'all got it. What was the cry? No doubt that deity was being taken and torn down and destroyed, and the people no doubt wept, sore because of it. And then you'll compare that to how we wept and cried when they tore and when they destroyed Yahushua. So I want to make sure I know, so I identify, because you don't want to assume. That makes sense? So we find they can pull it up and they can read it. What was that we looking at? Yahushua? Did y'all remember would you remember where it was? Yahushua. Is that what you looking at, that one? Oh, 1913, Chris. Okay, he got it. It don't make sense to say we want to get proficient and get lazy. What we got to do is get like Marvin was when he had to get that law book right. He had to go to church. He was a chief deacon. Dave Boss had got him about that law book he had. He had to go there. I told him about it. They told me he had been missing too many days, too. He needed to be at church. He the head deacon don't look right. He don't be on Sunday. He said, church important. I got to get this right. That law book, he looked, because they weren't going to pay him. He said, oh, church important now.
That's right.
I got to get this right.
That's right.
So everybody got to be like Marvin, we got to get this right.
Yes,
Isn't that right? Isn't that right? Okay, 1913 of the book of Yahushua. 1913, listen.
And from thence passeth on along on the east side, on the east to Githath Hafar, to Ethah Kazin, and goeth out to Ramon Mathor, to Neha.
What's the next one? Okay. He's just using it for the name. So let me see what happens. How to back it up a little bit. What you finna look up now? Oh no, I want to read what happened. So probably take me. Let me see if he can go down from now. I'm just curious. I'm gonna see. I'm trying to locate the events because he's using that similarity to tell me what it was gonna be similar to. I want to know what was their cry. What's verse 14? What you say? Second Malachi shows it. Show the situation. Second Beth Malachi 2 and 29. 23 and 29. What's that? Second Malachi 23 and 29. All right, let's see. Second Malachi 23, 29. Let's see. Did that put us right on the situation? I said if I need to go up or not. Let's see. All right, second Beth Malachi 23, 29. Listen.
In his Yamin, Pharaoh Necho, Malak of Mizraim, went up against the Malak of Assyria to the Nahar Euphrates, and Malak Hosea went against him and slew him at Meggidon when he had seen him.
You killed him, okay. Meggidon.
And his Abbadim carried him in a chariot moot from Meggidon and brought him to Yarushalum and buried him in his own sepulchre. And the arm of the Beth took Jehoaz, the ben of Hosea, and Mashiach him and made him Malak in his Abba's stead.
No, that didn't back it up for a second. What's that? 30? What is that? 29? Tell me 26. Let me say. Because it kind of got to the point we didn't hear no cry. I'm just curious. All right, 26. Let me see what happened.
Yes, sir. Notwithstanding, Yahuwah turned not from the fierceness of his great wrath, wherewith his anger was kindled against Yehuda, because all other provocations that Manasseh had provoked him withal. And Yahuwah said, I will remove Yehuda also out of my as I have removed Yasharal, and will cast off this city Jerusalem, which I have chosen, and the Beth of which I said my Shem shall be there. Now the rest of the acts of Hosea and all that he did, are they not written in the Sefer of Dabarim Hayamim of the Malaks of Yehuda?
Take me up a little higher. You just read that. 26, 25. No, that's not gonna work. Try to look at that. They put up that. What was that? Beth Dabri Hayamin, the 6th chapter. But that's gonna deal with Shamuel. I remember Shalom. What was that? He had you put up. It showed something when you were looking at it in what they're called Chronicles. Okay, let's just see what it is. Oh, first Olive, 6 and 62, and they got it like it going down to 67. Let's look and see what happened. Now you looked up the whole word, Basha. Let's do this before you do that. Look at when you looked up the whole word. You had the two words together. What did it give you in it? Did it reference any books? Okay. Now that's what we're trying to help you. You just see what you do. You find in the words, but what we're trying to find is a situation. And the only reason why I want to do that because he told them it was similar that when they watched, they were supposed to know what there was references to. So that's what I was trying to look and see that, and possibly as I figured anyway. everything in, they hadn't given us all our information anyway. Our books is fragmented. So a lot of time our book will record stuff. They'll give you names of books that we don't have. But we knew they had them. So some stuff they kept away from us. So we know it more than 60. Even the Greeks said it was 70. And they gave us 66. The whole word of the book is about it being 70. What's the Greek name? Septuagint. So I heard of Septuagint. Nobody never told me it meant 70. Right. So that's 70 books and you only got 66. I think you got 66 in total. Yes. They had 70 just with their old. So, go ahead, Boston. What is that? Oh, they count to the 70 elders? Oh, okay. It means 70. All right. Be as a mourning in Jerusalem. Okay. That's what we read, right? Tie in. I know it's a hold up, y'all, but we need to know. If we're going to grow and get this stuff right, we got to first be able to go back and see what we can find. So why it's good to have people back that know what they're doing. So they can spend that time and look it up and we try to find it. Because at the end of the day, if we're going to get the perfection, y'all, we got to make sure we get it right. You can't get the perfection just with your mind. Just, I just feel like I'm right. We got to be able to verify it. Just like Yahushua, everything had to be verified. Yahushua didn't tell her, I feel like that's him. He said, no. He said, I ain't even knowing. He said, but the one that sent me told me this is the evidence. It's not giving us the situation, just the name, so people just become familiar with the names. If we're gonna get this thing right, we're gonna have to put some time in.
That's right.
There's no free passes. There's no easy way to get this other than doing the work. Like this gentleman who put this together, this is a lot of work. That's a lot of work that's over a course of time and years. And sometimes when people do stuff, you get caught up, you get lazy because it's a lot. And sometimes you'll go just like Strong said to you, he said he was exhausted. The man wrote a book and called it Exhausted. Yeah, he said, that's it. He said, I've done every means I could to go back. So this is the exhausted version. That's what he called it, the Strong, it's called the exhausted version. He was tired. He went as far as he could. He said based off the information stuff he had, that was as far as he could go. And a lot of times that's what people do. They only want to go so far. For us, we're doing it for salvation. They were doing it for research. So we got a different agenda than what these people did. Like Harold. Harold wanted, how many of y'all want to see Yahushua? Harold did too. It wasn't so he could be saved though.
That's right. That's right.
He wanted to see he said he wanted to see the arts he did.
Right.
He said, I had heard about it. I just want to put eyes so I can say, oh yeah, I seen that guy. We ain't trying to sin so we can sin. We want to sin so he can save us, so we can be with him.
Right.
So his effort to find him wasn't that serious, because you being a malak, you could have got him. You could have had men to get him and come get him, but you heard somebody had him. He's talking about, oh, you got him? Yeah, shoot him on here so I can look at him. We don't want him just shooting us. We want to cohabitate with him. Yeah. So our goal is different than the people who did this. These people gave us a whole bunch of English titling and a whole bunch of English word to try to get us to define what the Abari word was. Because they didn't have an agenda on trying to be saved. They just wanted to go through so they could say, we know. Oh yeah, I know about that. I know that too. Yeah, I know that too. Yeah, I know that. They don't want to know it for the extra so they can be saved. Y'all got it? Even Shaul, he talked about people preaching. He said some preach Yahuwah, he said out of contention. He said some are strife and not goodwill. Mm-hmm. He said, but knowing for him, he said, I'm setting in defense of it.
Right.
See the difference? But he said he never said he was the only one preaching.
Right.
He said he said some of them not even doing it for goodwill. Y'all got it? He said some are looking to add affliction to my bond, and they preaching. So you understand that? Don't just go with everything you just hear and see. For us, it's important for us to be able to, this is how we'll know whether or not we're right. You can reference your stuff all the way out for evidence. We got to go to court. You know what the court going to use? Hearsay. That's going to be what you've seen and what you heard and what you know. You start putting something out your mind, you know that? No, kick it out. It's inadmissible. We can't use it. You don't know it. Y'all got it. We're going to court, we're going with evidence. We're proclaiming that we're his arm and that he saved us. We got to be able to prove that. Y'all got me? Can't go in there to my, that's what I was told. Get that junk out of here. Y'all got me? We're going to trial. Do y'all know what lawyers typically do before they go to trial? You go back over your stuff before you get in there. You go over your case to make sure it's definitive. You think them people took Kyle Rittenhouse and just popped in that courtroom? They had gone over it. They watched it. They had already rehearsed them and ran them through. Let them know where you need to cry and your mama need to do. Because you know what they were trying to appeal to? The jury. The jury going to decide this case. That's why you pick people. They watch those people and pick them people. You ask them certain series of questions about things because you want to know what's their political affiliation, what's their thought about certain things. They say, yeah, that's who I want on trial. That's who I want to put on the jury. Because I'm more likely to pick out of these 12, one of these people I can get to say, no, I don't believe he did it. Y'all got it? We got to make sure we got our evidence before trial comes. You can't find it right now, Boston? Appreciate you. All right. All right. Appreciate it. This is what they'll call 2 Chronicles 35:22. Let's see. All right. Y'all got that, what they call it? Beth, Dabari Hayamim 35:22, the matter of the days?
Yes, sir.
Yahusha.
Yahoo.
Oh, okay. Yoshi, I got it. Yoshi, okay. Go ahead.
Nevertheless, Yoshiyahu would not turn his pani from him, but disguised himself that he might fight with him, and hearkened not unto the Dabarim of Neku from the paw of Elohim, and came to fight in the valley of Meggidon. Mm-hmm. And the archers shot at Malak Yoshiyahu, and the Malak said to his Abadim, have me away, for I am sore wounded. His Abadim therefore took him out of the chariot, of that chariot, and put him in the second chariot that he had. And they brought him to Yarushalum, and he moved, and was buried in one of the sepulchres of his Abba. Mm-hmm. And all Yehuda and Jerusalem mourned for Yoshiyahu. Mm-hmm. And Yeremiyahu Ika for Yoshiyahu, and all the singing Anashim and the singing Nashim spake of Yoshiyahu in their lamentations to this Yom, and made them an ordinance in Jerusalem. And behold, they are katab in the lamentations.
So, okay. So this make more sense when you look, come back down, when you look at how the, come on back down, how when he was wounded, how the people took him and they buried him, and how you, and all Yehuda and Jerusalem mourned for Yeshayahu. So this make more sense when you go back to look at something you can compare it to. Because they looked at, they had lost them a lot. They had lost them a lot, they had deeds. Let's see what they told us right quick. Let's see. Sit at the 24th chapter book right quick, Oriyah. Pick me up at 24 and 12. 24, 12, 14. Let's just look at something real quick. Let's see a comparison. Oriyah. So 12. 24:12. That's one. Appreciate the work. All right, listen.
Then Kum cuffed and ran into the sepulchre, and stooping down, he beheld the linen clothes laid by themselves, and departed, wondering in himself at that which was come to pass.
Okay, astonished about what happened. Come on.
And behold, 2 of them went that same yom to a village called Amas, which was from Jerusalem about 60 furlongs. And they talked together of all things which had happened. And it came to pass that while they communed together,
Speaking and arguing together.
and behold, Yahushua himself drew near and went with them. But their own were holding,
Hold on, they hadn't moved yet. 16.
but their own were blocked, that they should not know him.
Recognize him.
And he said unto them, what manner of communications are these that ye have one to another, as ye halak and are sad?
So that? What happened?
And the one of them, whose Shem was Cleophas,
Cleopas. Go ahead.
answering, said unto him, art thou only a stranger in Jerusalem, and hast not known the things which are come to pass there in these Yamim?
Like what? Come on.
And he said unto them, what things? And they said unto him, concerning Yahushua of Nazareth, which was a Nabi, mighty indeed in Debar before Elohim and all the Am.
See, and let's see what happened.
And how the Rosh Kohanim and our Sarim delivered him to be condemned to moot and have crucified him.
And what happened?
But we trusted that it had been he which should have redeemed Yasharal.
Good. Now, what we're looking at when we kind of come back and look, after his moot, we also heard about the deeds and work he had done. And this is what they were going back over, the things that Yahushua had done. When they came, you pay attention, their eyes were blocked that they didn't do what? If you read earlier on the other one we were reading, they told you that he had put on a disguise. So a disguise would have been there so their eyes were what? They were blocked so they wouldn't know him. That's the second time we found him a lot that had done that. That him a lot had put on a disguise and he went into battle and he was struck. The same way Yahushua was. That's why he was up on the 2. One of them took a spear and struck him in his side. And just like them, both of them were living. That's how we knew he was living after he was struck and he wasn't dead.
Right.
When the writers right here, they told us he was dead. When they struck him, they took him while he was alive and put him in another chariot. So when we read now, we right here, it reads and it tells us when we go to the 19th chapter of the book of Matthew, I think tells us that when they struck him, that he was still living. Y'all got it? But he was in disguise. That's what it said. Now their eyes were, he was disguised so they wouldn't even know who he was. So these are things that we start to recognize and know whether or not we place it to accept him as our Yasha. If you go through with a lot of these different people, a lot of folks have arguments and they have disputes about even accepting who he was. It's simply because people don't want to do the searching. People don't want to be open to what he's actually trying to tell us to do. If you're searching for something, you can find it in that book.
Yeah.
Listen, anything you want to do, you can find that book if you want to do it. And it will be because you're led of yourself.
Yep.
When Shaul told us that we don't walk by but we walk by Amunah, we walk by the direction of the Debar, it makes a difference. Sometimes people go through these books and start researching, looking, because they have a different intent. I only have one intent. I want us to be saved. Shaul told us in the 10th chapter of the book of Romans, he said his Lord desire for Yasharal there, that they can be rich, they can live well, and they can have plenty of kids. He said that they might be saved. Elohim so Ahab the alarm that he sent his only begotten son. For what reason? So we can be saved. So we wouldn't perish. That was the only purpose of sending, so you wouldn't perish. That let us know what kind of condition we're in. You were going to perish. When we read the 9th chapter of the book of Romans, and the book told, except Yahuwah had left us a noon, what would have happened? We'd have been like Sodom and Gomorrah. He was going to burn us up. He was going to burn us up. We know what happened in Sodom and Gomorrah. Everybody perished, except he left us a seed. So it was that important for us to be able to reference these things to consider how important he was. That's what Yukonon was trying to tell him. This is he of whom I said. that after me cometh to eat, that's preferred before me because he was prior to my coming. And I didn't know him. And I can give you evidence to prove that this is him. He started telling us in the book of Matthew how his wintering fan was in his hand. How many understood what that meant? I had no idea. He said, who fan in him? I've been Christian, we never talk about no fan. We just kept it moving. We didn't know about this man talking about how you break wheat down and separate it. The fan is used to blow away the chaff. And the grain will fall down into the bag. So it's said to push away what's not needed, and what's got sustained, there's weight that's keeping, it's going to fall into the bag. And he's going to gather, he said, and he's going to put it into his barn. So he gave it to us in a scenario, in a situation that we understood on harvesting. That this was the man that was going to come and going to harvest us. That is important. We look at him coming to save us. That man coming to save what he can use, what he can keep, what's pleasant to the eye, to the But we need knowledge. Just praying and hoping ain't an answer. When those people went through and he asked them why they were sad, it made sense why. All of their tikva was in him. So if that ain't him, we crying because at this point we have nothing. When a man loses his only child, his only son, why he gonna be crying and hollering? I'm done after that. That's it. Everything is done. And we were told that he was the Ben of Adam, that they told us that he was the son of man and said he was ours. He was our kind. But they taught it to a way that twisted and fabricated up a lot of things. We don't understand. He was the kind, like Adam. It was important because the book told us that such a high kind became us. He's the same kind. See, the whole purpose when we got a cohen, the book told us he was taken from Ish for Ish. And he himself also was subject and prone to. That's why he gave him to her, because the book said he had to be able to have compassion. You know, he saw the multitude and the people hungry. You know what he told them? He said, feed them before you send them away. You know why? I got compassion. I know when I'm hungry, I want to eat. He that came out here in spirit. That man hungry, man, they die. They ain't on me, that's on them. They must not want to be saved. If they die for starvation, then you know how it is. God didn't want them to live anyway. No, he said, they're not a cohen. He said, I have compassion on them. He said, I can't send them people away hungry. I got to feed them. That's why he would look at, that's why when people's situation came up, he would heal them. People didn't realize what the purpose was because he had to realize himself. What he was asking for, he was on the tube. I'm good, nothing. He wanted him to save him. So what I want to do for y'all, I got to answer your call, don't I? So he'll answer mine. I got to do a service to you, so he'll do a service for me. That was the whole purpose of sending somebody like you. Our whole discrepancy with Elohim was he wasn't like us. That's the whole problem we had. How you going to understand me, what I'm doing or going through? You been down here before? You done lived out here before and went through this? You got bills done got behind before? Why are you going to talk to me about it? What you going to preach to me? Huh? You been fatherless and motherless? You who ain't even got no mother, no father. How you going to understand that except he sent us somebody? Huh? That has some of the same characteristics, that got some of the same, he been criticized down here. Folks say they want no sticks or stone breaking, but that's a word make you start crying. Folks put some verbiage on your behind, man, you'll break down. You got to be down here and go through that. That's what he did. I gave you somebody. Wrapped himself up and came down right down here in Basalt. So he can show you, I seen it. I seen your affliction. I heard your cry. Therefore, you know what I did? I came down to deliver you. What we saw in Mizraim, what people heard, we literally got the benefit of it. He said, therefore, I've come down to deliver you. That's why he came down here. Because I heard your complaint. We needed a mediator. We need somebody to buffer between us. He can't understand. If I tell you to do something, I can't understand why you can't do it. My mom dad knows, I know when I tell you to do stuff, you know, you don't know how to do it. My dad, if I tell you to do something, nigga, that's what you do. That's the only thing he understood. I'll bust your side now, nigga. Did your dad ever talk to you about it? Yeah, I know when I tell you something, Ted, you ain't gonna understand it. You don't know how to do it. Man, no. If I tell you to do something, do it, nigga, I'll bust your head wide open. Man, they don't have time for that. And they can't understand. They said, boy, you didn't hear what I told you to do. You be thinking, I know you. That's how he looked at it. If I told you something, that's what you do. But he didn't realize, we ain't understand it. He had already set a way up for us. He said, I know these people don't know. That's what he told us in the 7-8 division. 7-8 division they call it Tahalim. That man said, man, I know these folks ain't never basar. He said, so you know what I did? I ain't get really pissed off. He said, man, these people just like when these folks just passed by. Did you know the book said that when they did? He said, remember, he said they only basar. These people can't take but so much. We needed somebody to come down and get us to understand his position. Somebody come down that could have compassion on somebody who understood our position. First thing he wanted all Harun to do, when you go in there, you almost say, do one for yourself. He look at, I'm here to take stuff for the people, called the people transgression. He said, put one in for yourself. That let him know, so I ain't without fault. I'm not without error. I yield. When that time I seen them, man, them things that last when we were kids, them old Christmas batteries. Well, you can't even get through Christmas with them batteries. Man, you had some new Christmas tar, them things kick on. You better not get in there and got no little light or nothing on it. And got to move. Them Christmas batteries, but you be done for Christmas. Christmas be wide still, folks still party. Santa Claus still driving toy and all your stuff dead. Yeah. They used to do something else besides put them in the freezer. What else you to do to batteries? Hold on, stop. Somebody done went too far. We can't use everybody. Lancaster say you take battery when they back and put them in the oven. Man, you gonna blow that house up. He said it was smart. That man was trying to make a dinner. That man trying to help the oven hurry up and cook his food. Man, you done blowed up something around there. Then how that thing come on? I'm gonna get ready to let y'all go in. What is this? Tahid, you done. Tahid set me up. Well, he know he set me up. Come on up here, my Rilla. Give my Rilla a hand clap. Come on up here, my Rilla. I already did, let me say. Look at my Rilla. That's my chimp. Appreciate that. Ain't that right? Little porridge monkey. He drop it down more and more in it, and I appreciate that. But in close, I'm gonna get ready to let y'all go. I can't stress enough, I really want us to get this right. You know, when we start seeing certain things, sometimes we're in a mood we don't address, but we're gonna start trying to look more into it, just like the comparison of what Yarushalum actually went through. They had lost something near and dear and valuable to them. Y'all got it, and that's how we gotta look at it. This great salvation that we're looking at is really important to us, and this is something we don't want to lose again. We lost it before, we can't afford to do it again. He's been recalling us to spells to keep us around through all our wrongdoing, our ignorance. Some ain't been just ignorant. Some just been self-willed. Just been just trying to see what we can get away with just because that's the type of people we are. But now we're looking how important it is for us to comply and stay with. Y'all got it, not to turn away, not to river, like we learned about protecting. When we get this thing, we got to guard it with everything we got. He told you to see that nobody and take your crown. So what you going to do? You got to protect it. You got to protect it at all times. They tell you in boxing, protect it at all times. Ain't that right? You in the ring at all times. Y'all hear, you hear the call, but you got, hey, get your hands up. Be ready to fight. You get knocked down, you trying to hurry up, get back up, and prove that you confident that you can get back in there and fight. Otherwise, you out. Y'all got to win for the fight of our life for him. The old white man, we in for the fight. Listen, relationships, a lot of stuff we got. We're going to deal with a lot of this stuff. I'm going to tell you the most important thing you got to make sure you do. Make sure you got that first relationship with him. That'll validate everything else you got. If you create these relationships and he not first and foremost in what we're doing, everything else we're doing in vain. That's two.